If you've been around my channel for a while, it is no secret that I love my Grasshopper lawnmower, specifically my 25-year-old 721D. It's a little insane to me to think that this mower is of legal drinking age and then some, 25 years old. And honestly, if I had to go out and buy another mower and this one was for sale today at 25 years old, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Because if you know me, you know that I like things that work and work hard. And with the Kubota diesel power plant and this front mount deck, good luck finding a mower on the market that'll match the productivity of this unit here. And so today I'm gonna walk you through some of the reasons why I love this mower so much. And hopefully if you're in the market, I can convince you to spend your money on a used front mount Grasshopper as opposed to wasting your money at the big box store. Also take note, this thing is straight piped right now. Incredible. We're gonna get the easy one out of the way. Does it cut grass and does it cut grass well? Yeah, absolutely it does. This stuff, super thick. It just rained yesterday or this morning. I can't remember. It all rains every day anymore. Gross, thick stuff. Lays it down, no problem. I'll get some more action shots of me mowing here in a bit, but that's the easy box to check. Let's talk about all the other cool features of this thing. All right, let's first talk about the front mount deck. As you saw right there, entry and exit, very easy. Love that. More importantly though, the deck is out in front of you and you can see exactly what you're about ready to run over. With a mid mount, you've got the deck underneath you, and if you're approaching something, say a rock or a stump or whatever, you're kind of guessing as to where those blades are in relation to that stump or rock. With this, you can easily tell where the blades are right in front of you. It's also really comfortable. You can kind of lazy boy it if you want to. But with the blades out front, I think the biggest benefit is the amount of reach you have with this thing. Check this out. Two things. Ignore my pond Christmas tree lights that are still on. And if you like weed eating, then don't buy a Grasshopper. But if you're not a fan of weed eating, right there's a reason that you may want to buy a Grasshopper. And if you happen to have a pond, well, it does you wonders there too. You can run parallel to the bank and do some cutting, but I have a pretty soft pond bank edge right here, so I'd probably get sucked in. So you can use the front deck to reach. My buddy next door, Chris, he's got a 928D with a 72-inch deck on it, which gets you like another 6 to 8 inches widthwise here, and he can run along the bank and mow a whole lot better than I can. But I still have the option of using the front deck to reach out and mow, which is awesome because I'm really not a fan of weed eating a 1 acre pond. Another incredible benefit of the front mount deck is that it will articulate left and right, pivot forward and backward as you traverse uneven terrain. Thus, the deck and the mower independently move from one another, and because of it, the deck will not scalp. You can already kind of see it sitting right here. You can see how the mower deck is on one plane, and by looking at the foot stand there, you can see that the tractor is on another. I'll highlight it right here in an extreme case. So that tall strip of grass right there is a pretty good elevation change. So check that out. You can see how this thing pivots right in the middle, allowing the deck to flip up, and the mower's still down here on the lower ground. That is a pretty killer feature, if I'm being honest. And if you look here at the back, as I pull off of this, that rear tail wheel will also articulate. This thing's incredibly stable. Here it is inverted. Coming down, you can see that the deck gets to level real fast while the tractor's still up on the hill. And for maintenance purposes, that deck does flip up. That's incredibly awesome. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. Let me show you a couple other things real quick. All right, so check this one out. This is not a Grasshopper endorsed use of the machine, but if you own a front mount Grasshopper, I guarantee you've done this. And if you don't own one, this gives you another reason to buy one. Now, I realize you can probably push things around with other zero turns or other lawnmowers. However, the front mount deck makes it so much easier. And if you really want to get crazy with it, if you turn the blades off for a second and lower it all the way down, I mow with it really high, this thing becomes like a mini bulldozer. I've gotten to the point now where I don't even get off this thing to pick up sticks. I just scoot them around and keep mowing. You get the idea. Also, because of how low the center of gravity is on these things, they are killer at holding a slope and honestly do a great job going up and down banks too. You got this extremely heavy duty deck out front sitting low to the ground. Right here at the drive wheels are your hydro pumps and reservoir right below the operator. And then here at the rear, you got this heavy diesel motor. The frame sits low to the ground. This thing is a tank. And I know slope can be very difficult to see on camera, but if you take a look at, say, this tree right here, you can then get an idea of the bank we're dealing with. This embankment here is pretty steep. And actually, I set my tripod up here. You can see how hard I had to turn the top to get the bubble to level. I guess I'll say this. I have never had the pucker factor on this thing. Never had a feeling of like, uh-oh, this thing's gonna tip. On occasion, you get a real bad grade. It might slide a little bit. Nothing extreme. And in those situations, if you're starting to slide, going horizontal across it, you pivot and go perpendicular. And actually, I've learned that if you go kind of at a 45, where you take the benefit of your low center of gravity plus this thing's ability to back up, it'll back up about anything. On occasion, you might see the rear end kind of pop up a little bit, because you're pivoting around that center axle. They make counterweight systems for this thing as well. I don't have one. I'd love to know what this thing would look like if I put a big counterweight on the back of this thing. It'd be a mountain goat. Here you go, watch this. There is very little that I will not attempt to mow with that thing. All right, let me show you how this front deck flips up. Also, do you guys like my barn Charlie Brown? Isn't he awesome? I'm gonna show you how to flip this deck up for maintenance. It's incredible to have this kind of access. What's wild though is this is the manual version. They make automated versions or powered versions that have an actuator right here that'll do all the lifting for you. But on this one, you flip up the footrest. You unhook the PTO. I don't know if you guys knew, but the PTO shaft just hooks up under the seat down there. You get grease all over yourself. Stow away the PTO drive. You gotta set the kickstand down. Just a little lever there. All right, got a little kickstand down, so it's a little bar that just drops down below. I got a dedicated video about this if you really want to see how to do it. Set the weight of the deck on that stand. Certainly not light, but there you go. So it goes without saying, this is already way better than 99% of zero turns. You can sharpen or taking your blades off as needed right here. If you need to do any work on the spindles, scrape the deck. And let's take a look at how well built and beefy this deck is. I beat this thing up so much. Look at some of the chips in here where I've been hitting rocks. I am not easy on this thing because I mow finished stuff up by the house, but out here we're still turning, you know, old fields and woods into lawn. So it's not uncommon for me to hit a rock like that with, you know, half of it sticking out of the ground. I will smoke it. I'll smoke tree roots. And that's one thing that I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about breaking this thing. I'm yet to break anything on it materially. And if I get to a situation where, you know, this thing gets dented in, I can just knock it back out. That went sideways on me real fast. But another thing about these diesel hoppers, man, the torque is unreal. This thing does not bog down. And this is only 21 horsepower. This is 25 years old, 21 horsepower, but it's a brute. You can certainly tell you got more torque here than you would on a gasoline engine because you can hit 3-foot tall stuff if you have to, and it just powers right through it. Also, if you don't know, diesel motors are much more fuel efficient under load than gasoline engines are. So your fuel is going to go a lot longer in a diesel engine. And longevity, don't get me started there. This thing has 1,513 hours on it. A Kubota 3-cylinder diesel, this thing's going to outlive my kids. I mean, it's going to last a long time, maybe not that long. So here we are, a 25-year-old lawnmower. I am as enthusiastic about it as if I just bought it brand new yesterday. But don't get me wrong, 25-year-old machine, there's some maintenance that comes along with that. Things eventually break. 25 years of mowing, 25 years of vibration. Things are gonna get knocked around a little bit. You might have something break, a bolt break here or there. But the best part is that these machines are built to be serviced. You might buy something from a big box store. You may not really know where to turn if the alternator goes out or something even less than that. What if you lose these front casters up here? No joke, last spring, one of my pins came off of there. And I launched 2 of those about 50 feet out into the pond. And so for the past 8 years, I've been getting all of my parts from one location, the Mower Shop out in Arkansas. Now, if you search Mower Shop near you, you're probably gonna find about 15 different stores. I know near me, if I search Mower Shop, 5 other places pop up and not the one I'm looking for. If you search the Mower Shop Grasshopper, you'll definitely find it, and I'll throw some links down below. But for the past 8 years, I've gone to these guys for every part I need for this thing, whether it's belts and blades or obscure things like the ball joint for my fuel solenoid back here that I just bought about a month or 2 ago. They've got it all, and the best part is they've given you access to the parts diagrams. So if you go out and buy one of these machines, you don't have to worry about, well, what happens if this breaks or that breaks. You can literally find this screw right here that holds the air filter on if you want to, because things break. For example, those, or your springs and belts and sheaves and spindles, blades. I recently just replaced these 2 fans because, well, I dropped something in there and destroyed them. And so you name it, if you need a part for your Grasshopper, the Mower Shop's definitely gonna have it. So if you're gonna take my advice and go try to buy something on Marketplace or wherever it may be in a secondhand market, and you're nervous that, hey, Adam, this is a old machine. Do they still make parts for it? Can it still be worked on? Yeah, you can buy the parts from the Mower Shop and tackle it all yourself. These older machines don't have a lot of electronics in them. They're pretty easy to work on. Someone is running a mower over there and it's definitely not a Grasshopper. I don't like it. So I'm gonna be working with the Mower Shop more this summer to bring you guys more videos like this. One upgrade I am gonna make to my 721D here are new headlights. So a couple years ago, I added these LEDs here, but here are the stock lights that come on it. These old school halogens down here, and they make LED conversion kits. So now I'm gonna have 4 LEDs. Right now here in Indiana, it'll stay daylight until about, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. In October, when it's time for leaf cleanup, it'll be dark at 4:30. So at the end of this video, I'll pop one of the LEDs in here and we'll do a comparison halogen versus LED if you wanted to see that. But right now, I'm gonna actually do a little bit of mowing. I'm tired of just standing here talking to you guys. I really need to get all this grass behind me mowed. Well, and everything over there and about 2 acres over there. I got a lot of grass to mow. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll just voice over a few more things I wanted to mention about Grasshopper mowers, particularly the front mount diesel mowers, because that's where it's at. You guys like my shirt, by the way? I love the smell of diesel. Oh, here's their logo. I happen to have it on my tractor keychain. Mower Shop, Arkansas. So who are these machines for? They're great for those guys who have unique properties. Properties that have ponds, trees, building, a lot of fence rows, ditches, trails, landscaping beds to go around, uneven terrain. These things are incredible at minimizing the time you have to spend weed eating. So if weed eating is your thing, then look elsewhere. But if you want to cut your time trimming, this is the mower for you. Also, these things are really multifaceted. I don't have any attachments other than the front mower deck, but you can get snow blowers for these things, little dozer blades, rotary brooms. They have a big collection system that goes on the rear. So if you don't want a side discharge, you can collect all the grass in a big hopper on the back of it. There's a dad joke there somewhere. You can run a lawn aerator. They have flail mowers for the front of these things. They also have a buffalo turbine blower for the front. There's a lot you can do with these machines. Another thing that's really nice about these is if you're in a situation where you're gonna be downsizing your property in a few years and you're on the fence about buying such a mower because of its size, its cost, etc., they have incredible resale value. I often keep my eye out for these just because I want a bigger one. I'll see them pop up for sale and they're gone pretty quick. These are coveted machines. If they're well taken care of, there's a lot of life in them and you won't have any trouble unloading one. So who really is this machine for? It's like I just mentioned before. It's for the guy who has a complex piece of property and wants to minimize their trimming. If you value visibility, durability, the diesel torque, a machine that's serviceable, and you're planning on owning it long term, this is for you. Who it's not for the guy who has a tiny flat yard who just wants to cut their grass. These things are big, heavy, expensive machines. They are definitely workhorses, but they can quickly be overkill for someone who doesn't need this type of machine. Also, did I mention that they do killer donuts? So for reference, this is a 721D. This is a 61-inch deck with a 21 horsepower diesel. I'm telling you, if you've got acreage, don't skimp and just get some rider, or settle for a zero turn because it's a zero turn. If you have a lot of obstacles, if you have a pond, you have slopes, you have banks, you've got a lot of grass to mow with a unique situation, you have hundreds of trees like we do, this is the one to get. Front mount Grasshopper, diesel power plant. You can thank me later. And if things go awry, call the Mower Shop. They got your parts, they got you covered. I can confidently say that I will never own another mower than Grasshopper. That's how passionate I am about these mowers. I've got a lot more grass to mow, so we'll see you guys next time. Also, what do you guys think? Should I put a stack on this thing? Sounds incredible. Tell me it doesn't. Oh, that's incredible. Look at this. At least I don't have to mow there. My kids might think that's like crop circles or something. Love it. It's fully daylight out still, but check this out. Quite the difference. No question is that going to be significantly brighter at night. Also, if you guys get this kit for your hopper, the instructions say to actually take the entire fender off. Just take the tire off. You have plenty of access up here to make that swap once the tire's off. Work smarter, not harder. And the Mower Shop does have these kits if you want one. Hopper on. See you guys next time.